The small spaceship tumbled through the purple atmosphere, its emergency lights flashing bright red. Inside, Sarah Chen gripped her controls tightly, her knuckles white beneath her spacesuit gloves. Warning alarms blared as her ship, the Explorer 7, spun faster toward the strange planet below. Mayday! Mayday! This is Explorer 7. My engines are dead, and I'm going down. Sarah's voice echoed in her helmet. Only static answered her call. She was too far from Earth for anyone to hear. The ground rushed up to meet her. Sarah pulled hard on the emergency landing thrusters. The ship bounced once, twice, then skidded across a field of purple grass. Metal screamed against rock until finally, the Explorer 7 came to rest at the edge of a crystal forest. Sarah's head spun as she checked her suit's readings. The air outside seemed breathable, but her training taught her to be careful. She had no idea where she was. This planet wasn't on any of her maps. Movement caught her eye through the cracked window. Tall, graceful figures emerged from the crystal trees. Sarah gasped. They looked almost human, except their skin was completely see-through, like living glass. She could see their hearts beating inside their chests. But something was very wrong. These aliens wore no clothes at all. Not a single piece of fabric covered their transparent bodies. The aliens approached her ship slowly, their faces filled with curiosity. Sarah noticed they carried advanced devices that glowed with strange lights. They weren't primitive. They chose to be naked. One of the aliens, taller than the others, stepped forward and touched the ship's hull. A voice echoed in Sarah's helmet, somehow translated into English. Unknown visitor, you are in violation of our most sacred law. Your coverings mark you as a deceiver. Sarah's heart raced. What did they mean by deceiver? She watched as more aliens gathered around her ship, all of them staring at her spacesuit with what looked like fear and disgust. Please exit your vessel, the tall alien commanded. Remove your false skin, or we will be forced to take action. Sarah looked down at her spacesuit, the only thing protecting her from an unknown environment. Her oxygen levels were good, but the suit's power was failing after the crash. Soon, she would have no choice. The aliens surrounded her ship completely now. Some held devices that might have been weapons. Others whispered among themselves, pointing at her covered form with growing agitation. Through the transparent bodies of the aliens, Sarah could see the sun setting behind the crystal forest, turning the sky deep purple. She had to make a choice: risk removing her suit and trust these strange beings, or face whatever punishment they had planned for those who dared to hide themselves on their world. The tall alien pressed its hand against her window again. Your time grows short, deceiver. Show us your true self, or face the consequences. Inside her helmet, Sarah's breathing grew faster. The suit's power indicator blinked red. 15 minutes of life support remaining. The aliens waited silently, their transparent bodies reflecting the last rays of sunlight like living prisms. What lay ahead for Sarah on this world where clothing was forbidden? The answer waited beyond her ship's airlock, but did she dare to find out? The power indicator blinked again. 14 minutes left to decide. The transparent truth. Sarah's suit power flickered one last time before dying completely. The alien atmosphere leaked slowly into her helmet. She took a small breath. The air was warm and sweet, like summer flowers. At least she could breathe. With trembling fingers, Sarah unlocked her helmet. The aliens watched, their transparent hearts beating faster. She removed her helmet, feeling the purple sunlight on her face for the first time. The deceiver shows a part of truth, the tall alien said. Its voice was clearer now, like wind chimes in a breeze, but still hides behind layers of falsehood. Sarah stood up in her cockpit. My name is Sarah Chen. I'm a human from Earth. This suit protects me. It's not deception, it's survival. The aliens murmured among themselves. Sarah could literally see through their bodies as they gathered closer. Their organs were like beautiful crystal sculptures, pulsing with life. I am Zix, the tall alien said, lead truth keeper of the Crystal Valley. Your words interest us, but they conflict with the great transparency. More aliens emerged from the forest. These ones carried floating screens made of light. Sarah realized they were recording her, studying her like a fascinating new specimen. Our ancestors learned the hard way, Zix continued. Covering leads to hiding. Hiding leads to lies. Lies led to the great darkness that nearly destroyed our world. Now, only truth remains. A younger alien pushed forward through the crowd. Unlike the others, its crystalline form had a slight blue tint. But look at her ship, her technology. We could learn so much. Silence, Vex, Zix commanded. Remember your place. Sarah noticed something odd. While most aliens' thoughts seemed to flow visibly through their transparent brains like colored lights, Zix's mind remained strangely clouded. Your ship will be studied, Zix announced. You have two choices: embrace our way of complete truth, or face exile in the Darklands. You have until next sunrise to decide. The aliens began dispersing, but the young blue-tinted one, Vex, lingered. Don't choose yet, it whispered. There's something you should see first, something about Zix. A sharp cry from the crystal forest interrupted them. 3 aliens burst from the trees, their transparent bodies flashing red with alarm. The Dark Ones, they shouted. They're attacking the knowledge core. Zix turned to Sarah, its clouded mind swirling. Now we shall see, stranger. Will you help us while clinging to your deceptions, or will you embrace our truth and fight beside us? Through the forest's crystal trunks, Sarah saw dark shapes moving. Her suit was dead, offering no protection now. But in its remaining systems lay weapons that could help these people, if she dared to reveal such technology. The young alien Vex touched her hand. Its blue-tinted form pulsed with genuine concern. Choose quickly, Earth-human. But know this, not all truth is transparent. Sarah looked down at her suit, then at the approaching shadows. The fate of more than just her survival now hung in the balance. What secrets lay hidden in this world of forced openness? And why did their leader's mind stay clouded while demanding transparency from others? The dark shapes grew closer. Time for decisions had run out. Shadows and light. The dark shapes burst through the crystal trees, revealing themselves in the purple light. They weren't creatures at all, but aliens wearing black suits that covered their transparent bodies completely. Heretics, Zix shouted. They mock the great transparency. Sarah watched in amazement as the covered aliens moved with incredible speed, disabling the Truth Keeper's light weapons with strange dark devices. Their covered bodies made them almost invisible against the deepening purple twilight. Vex pulled Sarah behind a crystal tree. Now you see, the young alien whispered. Not everyone believes in forced nakedness. Some of us remember the old ways. The old ways? Sarah asked, watching as more covered aliens emerged from the forest. Before the great transparency, our people were like you. We used coverings, but not to deceive. To protect. To express. To survive. Vex's blue-tinted body pulsed with excitement. Your arrival proves we were right. A covered alien approached them, holding up empty hands. Quick, take these, it said, offering them black suits similar to theirs. The knowledge core contains the truth about our past. We must reach it before Zix destroys everything. Sarah looked at the suit, then at Vex. Why would Zix destroy knowledge? Doesn't that go against transparency? Look at Zix's clouded mind, Vex said. While demanding transparency from others, the Truth Keepers hide their own secrets. The great transparency was built on lies. More fighting erupted around them. The covered aliens were clearly winning, their suits giving them advantages the naked Truth Keepers couldn't match. Sarah made her decision. She took the black suit, feeling its strange material, lighter than her spacesuit but somehow stronger. As she put it on, displays lit up inside the helmet, showing her things about this world she couldn't have imagined. The knowledge core is this way, the covered alien said, pointing deeper into the crystal forest. But be warned, what you learn there will change everything. They ran through the chaos, Sarah's new suit helping her move easily between the crystal trees. Through her helmet's display, she saw energy patterns flowing through the forest itself, forming a network more complex than anything on Earth. Vex, who had also donned a suit, pointed ahead. There, the core entrance. A massive crystal structure rose before them, its facets reflecting the last purple light of day. But at its base, Sarah saw truth keepers setting up devices around the entrance. Destruction charges, their covered guide said grimly. They'll destroy the core rather than let the truth be known. Sarah's suit display showed her the building's structure. Look, she said, pointing to a diagram floating in her helmet. There's another way in, through the crystal veins themselves. Vex's blue form glowed even through the black suit. The crystal veins. But they're raw energy pathways. No one has ever survived traveling through them. On Earth, I specialized in energy field navigation, Sarah said. With these suits, we might have a chance. Better than letting them destroy everything. A massive explosion rocked the forest. The Truth Keepers were starting their destruction. Choose quickly, Sarah said to Vex. Risk the crystal veins, or lose your history forever. Vex looked at the burning core entrance, then at Sarah. You came from the stars to show us the truth. I trust you. They ran toward the nearest crystal vein, its raw energy pulsing like a liquid river of light. Behind them, more explosions lit the purple sky. Ahead lay either answers or annihilation. Sarah reached for Vex's hand. Together, they jumped into the flowing light. The core truth. The crystal veins' energy wrapped around Sarah and Vex like liquid lightning. Their suits' displays flickered wildly, struggling to process the pure power flowing through them. Time seemed to stretch and bend in the light stream. Stay close, Sarah shouted, though her voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. The suits are linking us together. Through the energy flow, Sarah saw impossible things. Memories stored in the crystal itself. Aliens from long ago, wearing beautiful garments that changed color with their emotions. Cities built from living crystal, where clothing and technology worked as one. A thriving civilization that understood the balance between transparency and privacy. The flow suddenly spat them out into a vast chamber deep within the knowledge core. As they caught their breath, Sarah and Vex stared in wonder at what surrounded them. Thousands of crystal panels lined the walls, each showing scenes from the planet's past. But what caught Sarah's attention were the mannequins, hundreds of them, wearing preserved examples of the ancient clothing. These weren't just clothes, Vex whispered, touching one of the garments. They were tools, technology, art. Everything the Truth Keepers said was wrong. A hologram flickered to life in the center of the chamber, an ancient alien wearing an ornate robe that pulsed with light. If you are seeing this, it said, then the great deception has finally been challenged. Sarah and Vex watched as the hologram told the true story. 1,000 years ago, their civilization had mastered the fusion of organic crystal technology with clothing. But one group, the ancestors of the Truth Keepers, feared this power in the hands of common people. They didn't ban clothes to promote truth, the hologram explained. They banned them to control the crystal technology. Without the proper garments, no one could access the planet's full power. No one could challenge them. Vex's blue tint darkened with anger. All this time, they kept us naked to keep us weak. More explosions rocked the chamber. The Truth Keepers were breaking through. But Sarah's suit display had detected something else. A power source, massive and ancient, sleeping deep beneath them. There's more down there, she said, pointing to a hidden doorway. Something they really don't want us to find. The choice chamber, Vex gasped. It's real. The legend said it held the power to restore what was lost. The chamber doors began to crack. They had minutes at most. Sarah, Vex said, if we access that power, there's no going back. Our whole society will change. Some won't be able to handle the truth. Sarah looked at the ancient garments, Then at her friend's worried face visible through both suits. "Truth isn't just about seeing everything," she said. "It's about understanding when to look closer and when to let others keep their mysteries." The doors exploded inward. Truth Keepers poured through, led by Zix. But Sarah and Vex were already running deeper into the core, toward a choice that would reshape their world. Behind them, the hologram's final words echoed. "The greatest transparency is choosing when to remain unseen." Power and choice. Sarah and Vex raced down a spiraling crystal staircase, their suit lights cutting through ancient darkness. Behind them, Truth Keepers shouted and fired energy weapons that left scorch marks on the walls. "The choice chamber should be just ahead," Vex panted. "But no one's been here for 1,000 years." They burst into a massive underground cavern that took their breath away. A giant crystal sphere hung suspended in the center, pulsing with every color imaginable. Around it, hundreds of ancient suits floated in preservation fields, each more advanced than the ones they wore. "The original suits," Vex whispered. "The ones that let our ancestors control the crystal power directly." Sarah's suit display went crazy, trying to process the energy readings. "This sphere, it's connected to every crystal on the planet. It's some kind of control center." "Stop." Zix's voice boomed through the chamber. The Truth Keeper leaders stood at the entrance, but something was wrong. Their body was changing, becoming less transparent, more solid. "You're not like the others," Sarah realized. "You're not even from this planet, are you?" Zix laughed, their body now completely opaque. "Smart human. My people came here centuries ago. We saw the power of these crystals, but couldn't use them ourselves, so we made sure no one else could either." "By banning the suits," Vex said. "By forcing everyone to be naked, and calling it truth." "A naked people are a weak people," Zix sneered. "No weapons, no tools, no secrets. Perfect slaves for harvesting crystal energy." The sphere pulsed brighter, responding to their presence. Sarah's suit connected to its systems, downloading ancient data. "The original suits weren't just clothing," she said. "They were keys to the planet's power. They let everyone share it equally." More Truth Keepers entered, but hesitated seeing their leader's true form. Doubt showed in their transparent faces. "The choice is yours," Sarah told them. "Keep living under lies, or reclaim your real heritage." Zix pulled out a strange weapon. "No choice. This ends now." But Vex had reached the sphere, their blue-tinted hand touching its surface. Energy surged through the chamber. The preservation fields deactivated, releasing the original suits. "Everyone deserves to choose their own truth," Vex said, their voice amplified by the sphere's power. The original suits flew outward, seeking new bearers. Truth Keepers gasped as the suits bonded with them, centuries of lost knowledge flooding their minds. "No," Zix fired their weapon at the sphere. Sarah dove forward, her Earth-trained reflexes fast in the enhanced suit. She caught the energy bolt and felt the suit absorbing it, transforming it. "You wanted transparency," she asked Zix. "Let's see what you're really made of." The chamber blazed with power as three forces collided: Sarah's determination, Vex's connection to the sphere, and Zix's desperate attack. The very future of this crystal world hung in the balance. And deep in the planet's core, something ancient began to wake up. Crystal rising. The chamber erupted in crystalline light as Sarah deflected Zix's attack. The energy rebounded, shattering the alien leader's weapon and revealing more of their true form, a shifting mass of dark crystals barely holding humanoid shape. "Your kind has stolen enough," Sarah said, her enhanced suit channeling power from the sphere. "Time to give it back." But Zix laughed, their body absorbing broken pieces of their weapon. "Fool, we've been draining this planet for centuries. The core is almost fully corrupted. Soon, nothing will grow here but black crystals. Our crystals." The chamber shuddered. Through her suit's displays, Sarah saw horrible truth. Dark energy had been spreading through the planet's crystal veins, turning them from light to shadow. The suits, Vex called out, still connected to the sphere. They're not just for controlling crystal power, they're for healing it. The former Truth Keepers, now wearing original suits, gathered around the sphere. Their transparent bodies showed the crystal energy flowing through them, fighting against the darkness. It's not enough, Sarah realized. The corruption runs too deep. Zix's body grew larger, absorbing more dark crystal. Our harvest is complete. This planet dies today. The chamber walls cracked as dark crystal burst through. Sarah's suit showed her the horror. The planet's core was becoming unstable. They had hours at most before total collapse. But something in the ancient data caught her attention. Vex, the original suits, they weren't just individual units. They were meant to work together. Understanding flowed through their connected suits. The ancient civilization hadn't built the suits for power or control, but for unity. Each person's suit added to a greater whole. Everyone, link hands, Sarah called out. The suits will do the rest. As they joined together, light blazed from their connected suits. The sphere pulsed in rhythm with their linked hearts. Even the crystal walls began to sing. No, Zix screamed, their dark form writhing. The crystals are ours. The crystals belong to everyone, Vex declared. And so does the truth. Power surged through their circle, not just energy, but memory. 1,000 years of lost knowledge flooded back. The crystals hadn't grown by chance. The entire planet was one living organism, and their ancestors had learned to live in harmony with it. Sarah felt it through her suit. The planet itself was awakening. The crystal veins pulsed with renewed purpose. Light began pushing back darkness. But Zix wasn't finished. Their dark crystal form expanded explosively, threatening to bring down the entire chamber. If we can't have this world, no one will. Sarah looked at Vex, an idea forming. The crystal veins, they connect everything. Vex nodded, including the corrupted ones. If we overload them with pure energy, Sarah began. We might burn out the corruption, Vex finished. But the power required could kill us all, Sarah said. Unless. The chamber groaned as Zix's darkness spread. They had seconds to choose. Sarah squeezed Vex's hand. Trust me. The answer came not in words, but in pure crystal light. Heart of light. Sarah's enhanced suit interfaced with the ancient sphere as the others channeled their power through her. The chamber blazed with pure crystal energy, forcing even Zix's darkness to recoil. The crystal veins, Sarah commanded through gritted teeth. Everyone focus on purifying them. Energy coursed through her suit like liquid fire. Through the displays, she watched light race through the planet's crystal network, fighting back corruption. But Zix's darkness had spread too far, too deep. It's not enough, Vex shouted. The dark crystals are too strong. Zix's massive form laughed, shaking the chamber. Our corruption is complete. You've lost. But Sarah noticed something in her suit's data, a pattern in the crystal veins, like a heartbeat. This isn't just a planet, she realized. It's alive, and we're not fighting alone. She pressed her hand against the sphere, connecting deeper than anyone had in centuries. Ancient memories flooded her mind, not just of the civilization, but of the planet itself. It had been waiting, sleeping, gathering strength for this moment. The suits, Sarah called out. They're not tools for controlling the planet. They're how we ask for its help. Understanding flowed through their connected circle. One by one, they stopped trying to force the crystal energy, and instead began working with it, like dance partners moving in harmony. The sphere pulsed with new power. The crystal walls began to glow with internal light. Even the corrupted veins flickered, remembering their original nature. Zix's dark form wavered. What are you doing? Remembering, Vex said, their blue tint blazing. This was never about power. It was about balance. The chamber filled with ghostly images. ancient memories of their civilization working in harmony with the living crystal. The original suits hadn't been weapons or tools of control. They were bridges, allowing communication between people and planet. Sarah felt the planet's consciousness touch her mind through the suit. It had been waiting for someone to listen, to understand. Now it was ready to act. No. Zix's darkness lashed out desperately. We won't lose our harvest. But Sarah wasn't fighting anymore. She was asking. Through her suit, through the sphere, through every crystal vein, she sent a simple message. Help us. The planet responded. Light exploded from the core, racing through every crystal vein. The chamber blazed so bright that even their enhanced suits could barely protect them. Sarah felt power unlike anything she'd imagined, not forcing corruption out but transforming it. Zix screamed as their dark crystals began to change. What have you done? Given the planet back its voice, Sarah said. The chamber walls cracked, not with destruction, but with new growth. Pure crystal sprouted everywhere, singing with life. The planet wasn't just healing. It was remaking itself. But the power surge was too much for their suits. Systems began to overload. They had seconds before the energy would overwhelm them completely. Sarah. Vex reached for her hand. We have to disconnect. She looked at their joined hands, then at the blazing sphere. Not yet. There's one more thing. The planet's consciousness touched her mind again, offering a choice that would change everything. The new transparency. The choice the planet offered was simple but profound. Become part of its consciousness, help guide its healing. Not as a ruler, but as a bridge between worlds. Sarah, don't. Vex's voice seemed distant as the power surged. No human has ever joined with crystal consciousness. But Sarah saw the truth through her overloading suit displays. Her crash landing hadn't been an accident. The planet had called her here, sensing in her the balance it needed. Someone who understood both covering and revelation, both technology and nature. I trust you, Sarah told the planet. Show me how. Light exploded from the sphere, enveloping her completely. Her suit merged with her body as crystal energy rewrote her on a molecular level. She felt every crystal vein on the planet, every sprouting growth, every pulse of power. Through transformed eyes, she saw Zix's darkness dissolving, not destroyed but purified. The alien leader's true form emerged, a scared being who had lost their way in the hunger for power. I understand now. Sarah's voice echoed with crystal resonance. Real transparency isn't about seeing everything. It's about sharing truth freely. The chamber transformed around them as Sarah's consciousness spread through the crystal network. Ancient technology awakened, but different now. Evolved. The original suits shifted, becoming something new. These are the Unity suits, she told the gathered crowd. They'll let you connect to the planet's power, but only through cooperation. No one person can control them alone. Vex stepped forward, their blue tint now shimmering with crystal light. What about you? Are you still you? Sarah smiled, her partially crystallized form glowing. I'm more me than ever, and I have so much to show you. At her gesture, new crystal formations grew from the walls, creating windows to the surface. The planet was transforming. Crystal cities were regrowing, but with organic patterns that worked with nature instead of controlling it. The dark corruption had become growth rings, marking history instead of hiding it. Your people won't have to stay naked, Sarah explained, but you won't hide behind coverings either. The new suits will let you choose your level of transparency, moment by moment. True freedom comes from having the choice. Even the former truth keepers nodded, understanding finally. Zix's people, freed from their corruption, began sharing their own truth, stories of worlds beyond the stars. And Earth? Vex asked. Will you return? Sarah touched the crystal wall, feeling the planet's thoughts merge with her own. I am Earth's first ambassador to a crystal world, and this world's first bridge to the stars. Why choose one when I can be both? The chamber filled with light as Sarah demonstrated her new power. Crystal formations grew into impossible shapes, creating a meeting hall where transparency and privacy danced in perfect balance, a place where all truths could be shared freely, but never forced. "The age of forced transparency is over," she declared. "Welcome to the age of chosen truth." Around her, the transformed planet sang with crystal harmonies. Not an ending, but a beginning. A new civilization ready to grow, powered by the greatest energy source of all, freely given trust. Above, the purple sky shimmered with crystal light as the planet took its first steps into a future where truth and choice walked hand in hand. The end.